This snippet is inserting Silverlight content into a web page using Expression Web. My name is Jeremy Osborne, presenting from AGI Training for Microsoft. In this snippet, you'll learn how to add an animated Silverlight navigation bar and rotating slideshow into a pre-existing web page. Additionally, you'll learn how to customize your CSS layout in order to fit the Silverlight content into your page's design. So the first thing you'll need to do is to define the site associated with this website. A site is simply a folder that has a collection of HTML documents and other assets. So let's go ahead and choose Site, Open Site, and then click Browse. And then we're going to want to locate this folder associated with the snippet, Inserting Silverlight Content into Expression Web. We're going to double-click that to open, and then click on this subfolder labeled Lucerne Site. Then we'll click Open and open one more time. Once we do that, we can see within the Site View panel, as well as the folder list, all of the files associated with this site. We can see default.html, styles.css, which is an external style sheet, and an images folder. Go ahead and double-click on default.html, and here we can see the page that we'll be inserting our Silverlight content into. First, let's look at this page in the browser before we do anything else. Choose File, Preview in Browser, select a browser, and then let's see what we have. So here we can see that we have a layout for our page fairly well established. In this top section is where we might have our navigation. Now this could be HTML and CSS navigation. However, in your case, you'll be adding a Silverlight navigation to this section. So in order to do this, we need to make sure that this section will fit our Silverlight content. Let's go ahead and close our browser, and then click within that top section, and we can see a cursor in the upper left-hand corner. Additionally, we can see here some identifiers. So we're within a div container labeled top nav. If we click on that, it will be highlighted, and now we can modify some of the properties in the CSS properties window. In the bottom left-hand corner, click on the CSS properties tab if necessary, and now we'll modify the width and height of this container. I'll show you a little tip here. Right now, all the CSS properties associated with this container are listed by group. And the problem with this is that it's very hard to locate those groups that have values. So what we're going to do is we're going to toggle the switch so that we can see all of the populated values for this container. Now Expression Web allows you to sort properties in a few ways. So the second icon, if we click on that, shows us an alphabetized list. So that's fine, but it's still not what we want. What we want is this one, Show Set Properties on Top. When I click on that, I can see some of the values for this container. So background, height and width. These are labeled in green, and these are the properties that have values. Now we can modify them. So if we look at the width of this container, it's 980 pixels, and this is exactly what we need. However, the height is not accurate. Let's go ahead and click on that height of 72, and we'll change this to 418, and do not forget the px for pixel value, and press return. Once we do that, it expands the height of that top nav, and now we're ready to add our Silverlight content. Again, click once within that top nav container, and then choose Insert, Media, Silverlight. We're now being prompted to add our Silverlight file. We're going to go back to our initial folder, and we're going to locate this document, Lucerne navheader.xap, or ZAP. So this is our Silverlight navigation. We're going to click on that and click Open. And once we do that, Expression Web inserts a placeholder. If we click on that, we can see it's using an object tag. Now what we need to do is to modify this because, of course, the width is 980 and the height is 418. The problem is Expression Web puts a default value in here, and if we click on Tag Properties on the left-hand corner, we can see what that is. The height is 480 and the width is 640. Well, this does not match our Silverlight application, so we need to change this. Again, click on the height value and type 418. Click on the width and type 980. Once we do that, the placeholder expands to fit the entire section, and it's worth pointing out here that we don't see a preview of this yet. We have to go into our browser. So let's choose File, Preview in Browser. Now, of course, we need to save the changes to this file, so go ahead and click OK. We also need to save the changes to the style sheet. Click OK. The browser appears, and we simply need to allow that blocked content and say yes. Once we do that, we can see that our Silverlight application is now successfully been added to our web page. If we hover over this navigation section, we can see some rollover effects here. We can also see the slideshow in the background. Now, of course, this is just an initial step because all of this navigation up here, of course, is not hooked up to our pages. However, that's something we'll leave for another snippet. Thank you for now. This is Jeremy Osborne presenting from AGI Training for Microsoft.